John F. Freud commented, The Visit to Russia During the Cold War and Its Impact Today. John F. Floyd commentary, A Cold War Visit to Russia. John F. Floyd contributor. Since the closing days of World War II, Russia has become a continuing dilemma for the United States. Russia is a formidable opponent on the world stage. The country covers the largest land mass in the world, encompasses more than 1/8 of Earth's inhabited land area, and extends across 11 time zones. It borders 16 sovereign nations, and the capital city is Moscow. Russia was brutalized by Germany during World War II, and remembrances of that brutalization shape a part of its foreign policy today. The population of Russia is roughly 152 million to 160 million people who are governed by the Russian Federation, a pseudo-republic. There are 85 administrative territorial divisions, 22 republics, 9 territories, 46 provinces, and 3 cities with federal status, Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Sevastopol. The republics include a wide variety of peoples that include Northern Europeans, Tatars, residents of the Caucasus, and indigenous Siberians. Moscow is the largest city with a population of some 13 million. St. Petersburg is second at 5.5 million. The Russian people, who I met on my trips to the country, demonstrated two faces. Some, when treated with respect, were extremely cordial and outgoing. Other Russians seemed mad at the world. I suppose I would be mad, too, if I had to endure their winter. But these angry people were just as rude to fellow Russians as they were to Americans. My first trip to Russia was accented by soldiers with AK-47s at the foot of the aircraft steps, demanding to see passport. But my tenure in England was in the middle of the Cold War between the US and what then was the Soviet Union. So an American in Moscow was immediately a red light for the Russian intelligence service. There is no doubt the Komitet Gosudarstvennoy Bezopasnosti, the KGB, followed my every move. There was a key lady, probably KGB, on every floor of the Intourist Hotel in Moscow. Also, there was evidence of bags being gone through, and other strange occurrences. But after all is said and done, the restrictions on movements were minimal, just as long as you did not broach Russian security. On one trip, I was accompanied by my wife Connie. A few minutes after we arrived at the Intourist Hotel, there was a knock on the door. It was a Russian chambermaid who immediately started making motions around her leg. I tried to converse with her in Russian, but my Russian was so bad we could not communicate. I called Connie to see if she could decipher what she meant with these motions. Connie knew immediately what she wanted, pantyhose. Connie had heard from some of our British friends that the most desired item from the outside world was pantyhose, and Connie had brought several pairs. She gave the chambermaid half of what she came with, and the Russian woman reached in her smock and pulled out a handful of rubles. I made her understand the pantyhose were a gift and no remuneration was necessary. We finally convinced her we were not taking any payment for the hose, and she left. 10 minutes later, there was another knock on the door. I immediately assumed it was another chambermaid wanting pantyhose, but it was the same woman. She was holding a 6-pack of Moskva beer. We would not take any money for the hose, so she had procured a pack of beer for our gesture. I am sure the beer knocked a big hole in her payday from the Intourist Hotel. People react to kindness the same way all over the world. And by the way, we had a party with the key lady before our departure. This commentary in no way is an attempt to whitewash or diminish what the Russians are threatening to do in the Ukraine. It is just a simple demonstration of what can be done with diplomacy rather than adversity. Politics is scary. What is even more scary is the individuals in both the United States and Russia who are in negotiation. On the one hand, we have a power-hungry, brutal individual with enormous power. In the other instance, we have an individual with enormous power. It's a formula for disaster. In next week's commentary, I will tell you about a scary incident in the Russian embassy in London. John F. Floyd is a Gadsden native who graduated from Gadsden High School in 1954. He formerly was director of United Kingdom Manufacturing, Goodyear Tire Rubber Company, Vice President of Manufacturing and International Operations, General Tire Rubber Company, and Director of Manufacturing, Chrysler Corp. He can be reached at johnfloyd538@gmail.com. The opinions reflected are his own. Facebook, Twitter, email.